Hi, you guys, and welcome back to Angels in the Library. On tonight's video, we're going to just break down just the fact that, angels and demons aren't what you think. And it's really important to understand that angels have a dark side, as we know and we can see, and demons have a light side. Because, of course, you guys, of course, on this channel, I've been roasting demons. I'll back you up, my bad, Drake. Didn't want to put your cleavage in the camera. um, of course, that right now, I started off the channel focusing in on the aspect of angels being lighter, because it is lighter. Like, just because you're a light form, if you're an angel, you have light, and focus on the fact of demons being darker in polarity, because they are more darker in polarity because they don't have the light. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean there isn't a shadow with an angel, and it doesn't mean there isn't positive with a demon. It's just kind of convoluted, if that makes sense, because the reasons why um angels have dark sides is a totally different reason than why demons have light sides. So, look at that. It's a little dab of darkness. Just a little dab that angels have. We got a little dab of darkness. but it's a dab. But of course, I want you guys to understand, of course, I'm coming on this channel, I'm breaking down heaven and hell and all these things. And of course, naturally, because I'm an angel, I'm gonna be more positive towards angels, in the beginning. Of course, I'm gonna get to roasting angels. But it's this is my family and stuff. I'm just gonna come out and be like, yeah, angels ain't shit on day one. But,
No, maybe day 3.
yeah, on day 3. Um, especially because angels don't really know what's going on at all, and demons have an agenda. So that's a big difference right there. Like, demons know exactly what they're doing. Even if they don't know it in this dimension, they kind of have an aim. Like we're seeing right now with how they have conspiracy theories. People post them and they'll be like, since 1920, the government's been trying to do this thing that's happening now. That's totally different than angels are kind of coming down here and doing their personal mission, which we'll get into. But essentially, even with that being said, the most important thing to take from this video is that um demons are a necessary evil and angels are a necessary good, because a lot of demons hate angels, right? I feel like they don't like us at all, and they call us the global elites. They say a lot of negative things about the stuff that we contribute, and we don't really like them. I think we actually do like them a lot. We just don't like their overarching plans for the world and how they want to have the world set up. But I do think that we actually like demons more than they like us. Am I right or wrong?
I would say so.
Yeah. I think they like the idea of us and the glory of us, but they definitely bad talk us way more than we bad talk them. I think when we talk bad about demons, we're trying to focus on what they're doing, versus they'll just make up a lie about us. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be anything that we're doing. We're kind of triggering them more than they're triggering us. But I do want you guys to know, more than anything, like I'm saying, that it's okay to like demons or to love demons. It's not really about hating demons or liking angels and all these different things, because it all works out together. The Archangel Uriel always says that God, what we want to call the creator or the source, is all possibilities. So angels and demons together are all the possibilities of the creator. So we need them and they need us, because the whole point of this is to evolve and become better version of the aspect of the creator that you are. And we can only do that through demons uh forcing us to love ourselves and get out of our insecurities. And we can only help demons evolve by the same way. So we both have a serious job to do. in terms of the evolution. And they give us the contrast to help ourselves become a better version of ourselves. Everything that we even like about angels and the angelic community is based around the groundworks of a demon putting their version of us out there so we can create a new version of ourselves. If you want me to break that down, like, let's talk about reptilians, right? We look at Europe and they're trying to mimic Gabriel. You know, we see all these like clothes and stuff, but those styles, you get somebody who's born like Ralph Lauren, and he actually looks at what they're doing and makes it into an actual Gabriel version of that. But Gabriel didn't create the groundwork for the polo. That was the reptilians coming up with what they think Gabriel is, and then Gabriel looking at that like, well, this is actually how I would do that. Does that make sense? Same with the archons. The archons are all about presentation. We wouldn't even have a silk press without the archons. Like, you know what I mean? There's certain things that would never happen if it wasn't for the abuse, for our demons abusing us. And that is the truth of all creation. We don't get new things without a form of abuse and a form of negativity and the form of the shadow. So demons laid the groundwork for us to become the best versions of ourselves and to be able to create something new, because angels, we already are doing whatever we're doing. Without the contrast of demons, we can't figure out a new way to be ourselves. That's what we're here to do. Angels are here to find a new way to be yourself. If you guys have ever watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, at the end of The Nightmare Before Christmas, after he ruins everything, Halloween Town has a new influence of Christmas there. So angels and demons are using each other to form a more expanded version of themselves. That's why as an angel, we should never be mad at demons, because they give us the opportunity to like have the best lives ever. It actually works better in our favor than in their favor. Like I always say, who do people think of when they think of the royal family? Do you think of Queen Elizabeth, or you think of Princess Diana? Who do we care about more, right? Princess Diana. Yeah, her life was short-lived because she's Gabriel and she's an angel, but her impact is stronger because it's like the real thing is showing up. So essentially, all of their attempts to mimic what they're not is allowing the real version of it to show up and actually utilize that mimic for a new take on themselves. Does that make sense, Streak?
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, I think we like, I'll use the Michael family, like, you know, just like America is supposed to be like some type of take on Michael. And you just notice when the angelic family is in their opposite, like the demonic family that's attempting to be like them, like I said, with Gabriel with the reptiles, or Michael with the archons, because the archons are trying to be like Michael, you actually get more glorified in their territory because you're what they're trying to achieve. So people like Elvis are big here. Marilyn Monroe, all the Michaels that are in America do 100 times better than anywhere, because essentially America is trying to mimic the energy of the Archangel Michael family. So it always works in your favor as an angel. So that's why it should be no negativity or love lost between angels and demons, because like we get a come up off of it.
Let's come up, guys.
Yeah, let's get our come up. Come up, guys. Yeah. And it's like, where would we be without demons? We'd be bored. We have nothing to do. I mean, after we do our little time on earth, we'd be tired of demons. You know what I'm saying? But we've all loved demonic things. It's just they don't serve us in the same way. But more importantly, I do want to say one more other thing about this channel because I think the news of all these people being demons is probably nerve-wracking for some people, but I don't want you guys to like, and I shouldn't have to say this. Obviously, this channel is for entertainment purposes only, but I don't want you guys to have violent thoughts. I don't want anything on my channel to perpetuate violence because that's not how it works. Like they can just reincarnate. You're not going to do anything. You beat a demon by overcoming their lies, like MLK. You beat a demon by staying true, even when, you know, it feels like nobody's with you. You beat a demon by being a solo piece of the creator that can withstand all hate because you know eternally that you are love. And we're reminding demons that there's nothing wrong with us. Like, we're reminding them that this wasn't a good decision. Falling from heaven was not the best plan. You know what I mean? Like, the original thing's always going to be stronger. We don't overcome demons by going out and killing them and dismantling them. That's what they do. They go out and do that. How is that working for Earth? Yeah. It's like we don't really have we don't need to have negative thoughts towards demons. We just have to learn how to not use them, but how to become our best self because of demons. Because we're getting stretched. All of us are becoming the best version of ourselves. And we're using all of the stuff from demons to do that.
So what's the best way to use them during this times that we're in currently?
Well,
Especially with the
essentially,
presidency.
I think a good way is like whatever you find to be truthful for yourself. So if you're a part of comedy lineage, what are the jokes we need to see? What's the new perspective on that we need to see? If you're a person that's in, you know, fashion, I'm just saying depending on what you are, like what kind of being you are, how is this changing you to have a new insight on yourself? Because it was interesting because Trump said he wants to get rid of paper straws.
Yeah.
And like, you know, people don't like paper straws obviously because they're not as like easy to use as plastic straws. And I was just realizing I don't really want to use plastic straws either. Because I realized like they actually do hurt a lot of people, like beings in the ocean and stuff. And it's like I can just bring my own reusable straws when I go out.
Right.
And I was just thinking about like, you know, when you pass away, you have to see all of the beings that you hurt. And like, why would I want to be in my life review and then I see a whale that got smacked by my straw? Like I don't want to I don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
being for real. Like you have to deal with every little piece of hurt that you cause somebody. And as insignificant as a straw is, we use those straws all the time. It's like it's just creating junk somewhere. When I could just buy, what'd you say?
Every little piece.
Yeah, when I already have reusable straws, like I don't need to um like use a straw that's like that's not like recyclable. I can just bring my stainless steel ones or any of my straws with me.
Yeah.
If I need to use a straw, I can put it in my purse. I have the ones that zip up. So I'm just utilizing this to go, okay, how can I have my own accountability with things that I believe in? And essentially, too, right now we're at the brink of the collective consciousness waking up to the 5D, aka having the wisdom and the foresight of heaven. So what they're doing, like the reason why demons have ran the earth for the last 20 years is because before this information comes out, you guys actually have to see them. Like if Trump and if I was just telling y'all, oh yeah, Trump, Netanyahu, Jay Jinping, who's the other one from Kim Jong Un and Putin are all related in one family. Like if I'm saying that, it goes out one ear. But when they start making moves together and you guys understand they all get along, now you guys can see it. It's like we all like the jinns, but when the jinns had their moment 15 years ago and they totally have destroyed and uprooted the whole black community for a long time, now people don't like the jinns. But when they were saying, you know, Cash Money Records taking over for 99 2000, we was all into it. When we grew up in the black community and the gens always had their hair done, always had their nails done, always had a fly fit, all that, we looked up to that until we realized they was still living off of Section 8 doing this. They never have stability to provide for their families, but they got a new car and rims. When we realized that they was selling crack and breaking down the real Michael family to get this money. When we realized they turned everybody into a baby mama. When we realized they've beaten, killed, done so many things to regular people, they've made our neighborhoods unsafe. Now we're like, okay, we got to stop the gen problem.
Mhm.
So it takes being totally abused to open your eyes to something, to it that it's an issue. And now we can shine the light on what's going on spiritually because of it. But like I said, at the same time, if we didn't have gens, how much fashion would we not have in the black community?
Mhm.
How much lingo? How much things have the has the gen's influence in the world? So we needed that influence, but we don't want to be overtaken by demons. But they all have showing us something so we can grow from it. But unless we actually go through a 10-15 year period with a demon ruling it, because every, like, guys, how we have rulerships, even with like astrology, right? We'll have a rulership of a demon. Right now, the tarot are, and I'll pull them up here. Well, you guys already know who the archons are. Go to the archon video. You shouldn't be. If you're here right now, I need you guys to go watch the other videos. I can't be up here breaking something down that's already online, right? But essentially, talk about the archons, we've been seeing them take off.
Mm.
When it started with Kevin Samuels, Candace Owens, and Andrew Tate. I've done my research on the Nazis. It started with Dietrich. He was a I did my research. He was a principality. It starts with
Oh my gosh, you've done my research on the Nazis.
I watch them every night because I gotta look them in the eyes and be like, do I know anybody who looks like this? Like, I have to look in their spirits. I'll never get enough of researching demons because I
Have
gotta
you
watch.
seen anyone?
Yes, and it'd be people randomly. Like, you'll see people like, dang, I didn't know. I didn't know you was back.
I've seen you in the Nazi.
I seen you in the Nazi. I didn't know you was back for that
You should stop him
reincarnation.
like, I seen you somewhere before.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, where?
Well, there was a gray in the Nazis too, so that's interesting as well. Like, one of the big Nazis was a gray. But we'll break down. We'll do a whole video on decoding the Nazis. So they got other people of other spirits in their party, and it'd be
Yeah.
obvious too because the way they're dressing, there's little things. It is kind of different. But essentially, like, we've been in this tarot, this archonic rule, and so it's important to watch the things that have happened, but we already know that they have serious things they want to accomplish. We know they've been working on building up Israel. We know that they're working on a lot of things for different reasons, Christian nationalism, getting rid of a lot of different things. So it's just everybody right now, we're excited. Not weird, me and Drika, but like, I think the United States is really excited for Trump to be president because it feels exciting. It's like, okay, we're going to get rid of these immigrants. We're going to have better safety, like all these things that I think most people really, really want because it sounds like it's all the right things that we need for a country to be stable and be like protected, which is so interesting because I know that they're off the number of 3. Them being fallen angels from Uriel, they're 3. So 3 is like one of the most unstable numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's been an emotional roller coaster, just with him being in office for less than a month.
Yeah, and then me and Drake, we're both from third lineage. We're both 3 from third lineages. So you already know that, like, a 3, like you being from a third lineage, don't you feel like that's already kind of chaotic? Like, just even though we're not we're not from 3, the origin of the number 3, like
Mm-hmm.
what that'd be Uriel, but we're from third. I'm third lineage of Michael, and Drika's from the third lineage of Gabriel. So we can both attest to that being like chaotic, right? Like
Well,
mentally, because it's a mental,
yeah.
we're from mental lineages. So it's like up and down. Having them, there's a reason why we've never had a Uriel president.
Wait, they don't love you like
Like, I don't know. And like you said, Drake, like with them, it's been up and down. It's emotional roller coaster. We don't know what's next.
Exactly. Every day it's a new story. Even how they pulled the the what was it? The international packages to come through with the tariffs or whatever. Like one day and then the next day it was back on. And I'm like, I can't keep up.
I know. Yeah, like stuff like that where it's like, why are you switching it so fast on me? And every day I'm hearing they're about to pass some new law. Like, yeah, right now, I seen one. They said that they're trying to make a rule that women have to vote from their maiden name. Like that's the only, like you have your birth name to vote, which would affect women that are married. Like it's all, and I don't even know if this, like I'm looking it up, but it could be something they're trying to pass. There's so many things they're trying to do. You can't keep up with it. It's like a constant, like they went and
It's a
fired
battle.
all those people from the aviation safety committee. Like they're just doing a lot of things quickly. And a lot of it was in that Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, this all has to happen. Like me and Drake, even before we both knew Trump was gonna win like years ago. Like we knew he was gonna come back. There's no way around it because like I said, this is like this country has such a big tarot influence, and obviously Uriel's are here too. So there's no way they're not gonna come back into power. And it just sounds like they're doing all the right things. Like right now, they're exposing government fraud. It
Cares about that kind of stuff. I mean,
just sounds like how they were talking about how they was doing that
appealing.
drag show, that drag set. I don't know, all these different things they said our money was
Oh,
going
yeah.
to. I'm like, Uriel sent 500,000 to some drag show in Sesame Street. But then I found out that that money was from like states. It wasn't actually from US aid. And even how Elon Musk had said it was 50 million going to condoms to Gaza, it was actually got like a place in Africa where they have high AIDS. So it's like a lot of things they're saying is true, but at the same time, originally they took the website down. All that stuff was already on their website, like where they were sending the money to. So it's also one of those things that nobody cared until somebody said, "Oh, we're gonna let you in on this." If that
Mm-hmm.
makes it was already documented on their website. And then the biggest thing is like it ain't gonna change anything. Like I saw somebody say like if they fire all those people that work those jobs, it's not gonna like it's not even 1% of the money. Like you would the only way that the government's gonna get better money is if they tax billionaires, if they tax big corporations. It's not gonna be from cutting all these people. It's like a judo mind trick. Like let's get rid of all these people. We're gonna have more money, but the people that are billionaires need to be paying more. Like
Yeah.
this is obviously there is corruption, and if they're exposing corruption then great, you know what I'm saying? But the problem with the tarot is that they will like they're liars. Like I can't just go off what they're saying. I need the
There's no
actual factual
basis.
documents. What you say?
There's no basis.
Yeah, like I need to actually see the documents and read it for myself to know what's really going on, because I don't like they talk about how we can't trust the government. It's like I also can't trust you though. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I also can't trust you. So it's like they'll take something and they'll make it so extreme to where you're like, dang, they were spending 500 million on drag transitions in Ecuador. Like, this is crazy. Or like or on the trans community. And then it's like, we know Uriel did that. Uriel was funneling the money to the
Mm-hmm.
trans community. It's so many things that it's like I don't even know. Like it's like you actually have to get the factual documents, and then um they're like, oh, we got to put America first, and it's like we already are first. The whole world lives in shit and works 50 cents days or 15 hours, like makes no money so we can have expensive bath towels. And so people around the world are fishing on these terrible boats so we can have unlimited all you can eat sushi. Like we already are put first in the world. We're not living in a
Yeah.
just system where everybody's getting what they deserve out of the deal. People are mining things in Africa, not getting anything out of it, and then we get all these resources. And it's like I don't think any angel wants to be put first. We want to live where it's like from the bottom to the top everybody was respected and everybody got their fair share of it. Even if that means I have to pay more.
Makes sense.
We say?
Where everything makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing is, we wouldn't have to pay more. It's just the people at the top would be making less money off of it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, if they
Hmm.
paid from the bottom to this, it's about how much profit they want, and they don't really want to pay people like a livable wage because they keep saying, "Oh, we're gonna have manufacturing in America." It's like, how would you have manufacturing in America unless you're gonna pay people a lot of money to do it, and that piece of clothing would be so much, and you guys don't want to do that. Like we know the reason why everything's manufactured out of America, which is because corporations want to make a lot of money off of things.
Hmm.
But you were asking me, how do we deal with this time? I would say that too, because now, okay, if there's so many tariffs, that means people, Sheen will be slowed down, which is good. So certain demonic things will be slowed down. And like, because this video is going back to not everything demons do is bad, let's also focus on the good things that the tarot does do, which is like control the jinn community. So hopefully they put a stop to all this criminal jinn activity throughout the world. But hopefully we do see the positive sides of the archons, which is like they're usually good at taking other demonic families out, which they have been. They're trying to expose the reptiles for poisons. They're trying to put the jinns in jail, and they've said that the Greys are the Antichrist. I feel like they're doing my job at this point. They're exposing every demonic family.
Crazy.
Yeah, because they were pissed off that Serena Williams did the Crip Walk.
Hmm.
They're like, she was doing something demonic. But I'm just saying that, like, they get on every demonic family. Like, at this point, they're my YouTube channel.
Mm.
And then remember I seen that thing with Alex Jones decoding Kendrick Lamar's performance? I sent you on
Yeah, I
TikTok.
think he did
And
send
he
me
was
that.
like,
Yeah.
he's an archon. He was like explaining that Kendrick was talking about, like, he's thinking that he's a part of, they think that they're a part of like the good people. Like, they're not like us, like the global elites. And it's like, bro,
Hmm.
you're a whole demon. So,
Exactly. Like, what?
but we know the negative sides of the archons, which is going to be, they're going to be taking a lot of land from people. They're going to be really rough on the environment because they're big into oil. They're going to be like how they want to buy all this land in Greenland, how they're going to take over the Gaza Strip. They're going to be doing a lot of things with the land. They're going to be giving Putin control of the parts that he wants, and they're going to let China. They want to let China have Taiwan. So there's going to be giving more power, more land to themselves, and pray for the people in these areas that are going to have to be under that rulership because
Yeah.
we're a little more protected in America because we have a reptilian influence and the Raphaels here. So it's kind of like Reptilian's probably gonna, have to do something to them soon. Reptilian's gonna put them back in their place. We have more spirits here, like that kind of can balance it out. But essentially, we're gonna see how it all plays out. And like I said, demons aren't all bad. So the good things that they do will give them will give them their their flowers. But overall, we know it's like the jinns having their moment in the sun. It's gonna
Hmm.
be like at the end of the day, this is just what it is. Demons are more bad than good. But from
Hmm.
more bad, we end up going back and getting more good. So after we
Yeah.
experience all this bad, this is how we'll have a better perspective on how to deal with things like the immigration crisis. Because these are hard topics for angels. You know what I mean? Once we see how they do it, and once we see how this whole thing plays out, we're gonna have a better idea how we can deal with all these things. We'll have a better idea of even who they are and what their game plan is. And then the political lineages will get a lot from this too. And we'll get a lot too from, like, we're supposed to be getting a lot more in politics from, like, being more concerned with who's involved than just waiting on these big elections, because we need to be supporting the candidates coming up that are actually good, qualified people, not just waiting till a bunch of grays are the top picks, and now we got to go between a gray and a tarot. And then it's awkward because you're only voting for a gray because it's like, I mean, for me, they're more stable. They're number 4, so it's like there's all grays have money. So if a gray's in office, you're gonna have more money because they always got money. It's like it's just more calm. But once again, archons rule over 3, which is change. So it's gonna be a lot of changes with them in office. And I guess it's like we said, the necessary evil changes so that we can grow from this. We haven't grown enough from the archons. What do you say?
So strong.
Yeah, and the things that the archons have taught humanity is that, like, we should always put ourselves first and think about ourselves and survival of the fittest and all this me. Like, Uriel, what about me? What about me? What about me? And so, it is important to put yourself first in terms of, like, your health, your wealth, but putting yourself first shouldn't cause harm to others. That's why it's not really putting yourself first. It's like putting yourself above others and glorifying yourself. That's what they're doing. It's not like, oh, let's put myself first. Like, like, if you're in general, we're supposed to always be self-preserving and, like, putting ourselves first and making sure we're taking care of ourselves. But there's a part of it that's like, if you're abusing others to do that, then it's beyond putting yourself first. It's a little past that point. But they have an agenda to do, and we have our agenda to do. So for the most part, I would just say stay alert on the news. Don't be surprised by anything. It's hard for me because I know they're, at the end of the day, they're still Uriel, and so it's like I just never know where it goes with them. It could go in so many ways because it's coming out of a crazy space. Even if they act totally normal, like, I know who they really are. And
inside.
what do you say?
Yeah, deep inside.
Yeah, deep inside, I know they're wild and they have a lot of wild thoughts. And one thing I know about archons is that, like, even when they act normal, they actually talk a lot of shit behind closed doors. So if we're seeing a lot of stuff with them, like how we're seeing all these different things that pass, that means there's even more stuff happening behind closed doors. And racial ties, like, these things, these, like, old concepts are getting more strong again, like nationalism, race, him giving refugee status to all those white Afrikaners because they're getting persecuted over there. It's just so many things. They're bringing up all these old timelines. Like, you see the neo-Nazis marching in Ohio, like, they're bringing out all those old energies again. So that's something too, which we'll talk about down the line, about, like, spirit families. And when the spirit family's in charge, all of their people get big too. Like, all of their hosts and everybody who's from their family gets this wind of attention and glory.
Energy.
But yeah, so essentially, let's look at the yin versus the yang, right? So this is the perfect way to understand angels versus demons. We're not supposed to hate them because they're our shadow side and we're their light side. So we know yin is dark, cold, penetrative, passive, reflects, gentle, conquered, closed. Yang, which is light, is outside, hot, warm, dry, penetrates, activates, radiates, conquers, and open. These are interesting things because a big aspect of angels versus demons is demons are here to keep things the same, and we're here to to transform things. Nothing new comes into the world until angels do something new. So their whole job, that's why it's make America great again, or any of their themes, or we got to go back. Back in this time, this was the best time. They're always chasing something that already happened, and we're always trying to move the ball forward. And I like this that it activates versus their and the radiates, because you see that a lot with angels. Like we're talking about Princess Diana, just using her because she came up. It's like something about her was activating people and radiating something to people. And it's interesting that yin is also gentle, and that yang is strong. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Because I don't see demons as gentle, but they are, because their influence is a lot smaller. And then it says they're conquered, and we're the conquerors. They've already been conquered. And that's the thing. That's why, like, I think at the end of it all, like, you always just end up kind of feeling sad for demons, right? Like, because you're always like, okay, well, like, I feel bad for them, because when I see images of Queen Elizabeth and I could just see that she wants to be Gabriel, I feel bad because she wants something that she literally can't have. I was telling Drika, I wish we could give demons the opportunity to actually be us, but it's like they actually can never have it. Look at Beyonce. She spent her whole career to be like Michael Jackson, and it still hasn't worked. She actually has not achieved that. She literally can't have it. No matter how much she tries, it's not coming in the same, and nobody cares the same. She won the award. She has everything that you would think would make her have that position. But when she actually gets to it, we know this is different. We know it's not the Michael family. We know it's not. And I feel bad, because imagine spending your whole existence for billions of years to try to be something you're not. So that's why it's like we got nothing but love for demons, because they're helping us evolve, and we're going to help them evolve too. Like once you realize what's going on, and that it's nothing but love, it's like I got nothing but love for y'all. And it's like I have nothing negative to say about demons, because they already hate themselves.
They've already done the work themselves.
Yeah, they've already condemned that they've conquered them. They're conquered. And the coldness, I see the coldness aspect with the reptilians. The inside things, like how they always keep everything, like we talked about, being authentic, which is an external approach, which is heavenly, and being fake, you always got to do things behind closed doors. You always got to be secretive. You always got to be like hiding things to be demonic. So that's why it's that penetrative energy, that internal, like go into the dark. That's why it represents the dark with demons, because in order to be demonic, when you're insecure about something, you hide something. If you're insecure about your body, you hide it. I've struggled with back knee. I'm always trying to find clothes that cover my back knee, because I'm insecure about it. So whatever you're insecure, you're hiding. So they're hiding, essentially. They live in a mode of hiding. When you actually are secure about something, you naturally show it off. Not show it off, but you're comfortable in it. It could be showing off, but more of a confidence, like you're just naturally irradiating it. Or you're just not trying to hide anything. So we're just going to show you Michael versus Jins. We're not perfect. They're not all terrible. Right? We the best. Oh, wait, nigga. Right. Horses don't stop. They keep going. Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Cause it's Friday night. What is the Hit City Girls saying?
It's Friday night.
Kicked it in a
Trying
while.
on the man on the
Yeah.
Friday night.
What is Ice Spice's little thing? I'm
I
I'm
forgot
sure I'm sure somebody's watching it like this is all bad. What's the positive influence here?
that.
We're
Hey,
gonna
they
get
gave you a summer bob. Hey,
exactly.
yeah,
It's
you
Friday
guys
night.
loved it on TikTok. I seen it.
Right. I see y'all loving the gins.
People been reposting, using their songs.
You can
I
have a little
guess that
pop.
was a positive aspect.
Right. And we're gonna do the full positive aspects in the next video. We're just showing y'all the lineup. Raphael,
Hmm.
it's not all perfect. It's not all, Lauren Hill be having her situations. Bob Marley be having his situations. You know, they got
Yeah,
we say
all those situations.
right little situations, but overall they're a more positive influence than the reptilians. What we're gonna get into the dark side of angels. That's gonna be the next videos
Oh
and the
God.
positive sides to demons. I'm gonna break down what I like about the reptilians. I'm not gonna be a hater no more on my channel. Shit. I'm not gonna be hating on demons. I don't want to have any hate in my heart because, like I said, they've already been conquered. What do I have to hate demons for? Thank
Hmm.
you, demons. I'm gonna go and, you know, take the reptilian influence that I like and use it for my destiny.
Isn't that's Bill Gates, right? That's
Yeah.
he did Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we used Microsoft Word.
Right. I use that. I actually use PowerPoint. You know what's funny, Drake? I use PowerPoint for this video. This is a
Exactly.
out to the
See, I was
reptiles.
going somewhere, but I was
Yeah,
like,
we
wait a
use
minute.
Microsoft Word. Yeah, I use PowerPoint for all these presentations. And it's funny
Me
because I actually like
too.
doing it in PowerPoint more than I like doing it in Google. And Google would be
It's easier.
yeah, Google would be a Raphael company, but Bill Gates he was hitting on his, you know, on his Microsoft
Mhm.
Word and Excel.
We all used it.
We all used it. It knows we can't. They know we can't spell for shit. They started that autocorrect.
Right. It literally like saved us so much time.
Yeah.
Shout outs to him for
Shout out to the reptilian.
that. Oh my gosh.
Uriel. It's crazy because Uriel being the grandfather Madam and the first angel to fall from heaven, they start to be a trickier angelic family because almost like the angels have more dark than light. And the demons sometimes come across as more light than dark, but it's actually not just comes across that way to the world. Because
Mm-hmm.
Uriel, wherever Uriel's mind's at is how these families come across.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain that more later because sometimes his demons come in more lighter than his angelic side. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of convolution with them. It's a lot because they're confused as his kids too. Like the transgender stuff, there's so much confusion. They're always battling. The Archons and Uriel's always battling over being transgender. I know the Archons hate that shit because they do not want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Uriel's like, I was misgendered today again. I'm like, yo, they be pissed. They having a Starbucks. I got misgendered at Starbucks.
Mm-mm.
I'm not even gonna roast them on it just yet. But you can see here they all come across as two genders for the most part. Not all of them, but a lot of them come across as look at Frida Kahlo, look at Prince. They coming in with more, but they everybody's gonna lean. We'll talk about that down the line. I'm just breaking down these constant battles that Uriel's having with himself. Because every family, angel and demon, is a constant fight within yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fighting. Raphael's fighting herself between wanting to be smarter than us and wanting to help us. Michael's fighting between being being I guess being like having a good personality and having a bad personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, being a light, like using your personality for good versus using your personality for evil. You know what I mean? We're fighting that fight every day. Like, should we crack a smile to, you know, for the good of all, or should we crack a smile to get what we want? Should we be
Mm-hmm.
charming for, because that's who we are and we're happy and we want to spread love and joy and we love to spread that love? Or are we being charming to deceive people,
Mm-hmm.
to just get one off on somebody? Uriel's fighting between all type of stuff. They got more battles than the rest of us. But a lot of it comes down to controlling our minds, wanting to control all of our minds versus allow us to come to our own conclusions or help us come to our own conclusions, because you need somebody that has more information than you, but that's supposed to help you have a better conclusion about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jesus is here to help us love ourselves because Jesus loves us. So then from there, I could feel the love Jesus has for me. So I could tell if Jesus' love for me is making me have a spiritual awakening, that means I'm not really in love with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I got to get to that point. This channel is supposed to help you get to the highest point of clarity. Jesus is supposed to help you get to the highest point of self-love. And with Gabriel, we can see there Jesus is battling between, you know, wanting to be optimistic and wanting us to just escape the world. Like being like, it's escapism. This is optimism, this is escapism. It's like everything's good, but sometimes it's not. Right? If the gray mentality wouldn't have helped MLK get civil rights. Pretend everything is good when it's not. That's the difference between the Gabriel and the Gray. It's like things aren't perfect, but we can make them perfect. Versus Gray's like everything's good. Everything's good. But this episode was kind of laying the groundwork, because next videos we're going to be talking about what we love about the demonic families. And it's going to be sincere. That's why I couldn't do that video tonight, because I went through hell and high water with demons all week. So I couldn't just hop into why I love them so much. I need to be sincere. I need to have a week without them so I could actually, like, this is going to be the things when we get back to heaven we're going to talk about how much we love them. And that's going to be the next video. And then we're going to talk about the dark side to the angelic families. Anything you want to add about angels not being all good and demons not being all bad, Drika?
Oh my gosh. Where do I begin? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, bring it down, Drake.
Where do I begin? I don't really think I have too much to add beyond that. I think that is a good point for people to know and understand because, yeah, I mean, I don't think you should get it confused with being like, because you're an angel, you're all good, and because you're a demon, you're all bad. I mean, I know we know both, so it's like there's good aspects and bad aspects in both. So I feel like it's good to know that polarity, and like you said, it's good for it. It helps us realize who we are and where we can grow and be better at. So for me, I think it's a positive because I might not necessarily like or agree with the things that all these demons do, but in that aspect, it does help me because I'm like, okay, I have an example of different things that I don't like, and so I know to go further away from that, and I feel like that will help other people. Where if you're like struggling with something or you don't like something about like yourself, I think it could be like maybe like self-reflective, if you know what I mean. Like sometimes you see things and stuff in other people that you don't like, and then you realize like, oh wait, I do that, so maybe I need to go away from that aspect.
Yeah, it's
Or like
important.
even if you see things you love about people, like positive aspects and stuff like that, I need to go more in that direction. So I don't know, I feel like it's just good to know to help us all grow.
Yeah. And I think too, especially like coming on this channel, me and Drake saying we're angels and this and that. I don't want people getting the idea that like I'm some perfect being, because one thing that's been corrupted spiritually down here is this idea of good and bad, and the whole point of life is to be good because there's some reward, versus the whole point is to evolve, because when you finish evolving and becoming a pure authentic version of who you are now, whether that's an angel or a demon, that's how you get where you're supposed to get, and that's how you get out of this dimension. It's not because you're good, because good doesn't even mean anything. That's a concept. The grays are good. So it's just getting out of that mentality too is so important, because you're thinking, oh, how are you an angel? And you don't you know how angels fell from heaven? It started with us. So don't put me on this pedestal talking about good and bad, because that's not what it's about. It's about pure authenticity and evolving. It's not about, oh, you're so good, because what does that even mean? Better to say, oh, you're so truthful, you're so authentic, you're so helpful,
Real.
you're so real. Exactly. I don't want you guys to think that like angels is a messenger. A messenger is somebody bringing the truth. That's what a light is, bringing your individual aspect truth to the world. So I don't want you guys getting into this idea of like, well, how can you be an angel if you did this, this, and that? Like,
Which can
I'm
be vulgar too.
yeah. And how could this person be a demon when they've done all this good stuff? It's about the intention. It's about your spirit. It's not demons have to exist. Angels have to exist. We're here using each other to have a better evolution, because they have to become authentic demons and we have to become authentic angels. We neither of us do better when we're in the limbo stage.
Right.
Like the reason why I'm using these people here is because they're the most authentic versions of Grace. And that's why they're the richest ones. They're getting the most out of it. These are the most authentic reptilians. They're getting the most out of it. These are some of the most authentic Michaels. Look at the hair. Everybody's hair is sitting up. Everybody got on the family color, which is red, white, and black. You know what I mean? This is coming out. The more authentic you are, whether you're an angel or a demon, the more you're going to get out of the situation. So we really want to focus on, it's not about good or bad. It's about evolving. It's about only caring what you think about yourself, you know, in terms of your evolution, not spending your day to live for others, but to live for the, not to live for the glory of the world, but the glory of heaven, which is just the truth. And to see how much you can evolve. And when you go backwards, because sometimes you'll evolve and then some pulls out and then you see that shadow side in yourself again. You're like, damn, I thought I was past this.
Me at least once a month.
Yeah, I thought I was past this.
Just beat that demon.
Right. You thought you beat that demon, but you haven't yet. That's why you're still on Earth. And then on top of that, that dark side, Michael, one of our dark sides is violence. So then we got to figure out how to use violence for good. Violence starts with words. So it's the truthful words. You know what I mean? But how could we use violence for good? Which it could be sports. It could be so many different ways. But when you start seeing that shadow creep back in, that means you haven't beat that level. You haven't passed that test yet. That test is, you still got an F. and it just becomes a thing of you versus you versus something else. It's like you're here to focus on how to become the best version of yourself. And you might think you got really far and you're not doing those things again, but trust me, if you have any insecurity, that shit's gonna creep back up. If you have any, we say,
and it's like a test.
It's a test. And then also we have desires from eons ago that we're dealing with right now. In a lifetime, you're dealing with desires you had a long time ago that creep back up that you have to deal with. And usually the best way to deal with them is by re-experiencing them and then realizing, okay, I don't want to, this desire is based around me missing my old family members that fell from heaven, or it's based around something like in the past. And why do we attach ourselves to the past? Like the twin flame journey, all these things, because we haven't fully resolved the lesson we were supposed to learn from it. I'm just saying, like, the twin flame journeys and stuff. It's like because we didn't really we still haven't healed from the fall from heaven. That's a big thing. Like we still haven't actually healed from losing all these different people. We
Mhm.
still are debilitated really strongly. There hasn't been angels that have taken over these stronghold spots for the family. Like, how we haven't fully switched
Yeah.
the clocks. So we're still missing these aspects. And that turns into us wanting to date demons and wanting to help demons because we're missing these family members. So we're like missing them. There's so
Mhm.
many reasons they're so deep why we get so caught up in all this stuff.
Right. Mm.
But it's really your battle, it's your business. And when you're ready to evolve out of it, it will just be a natural process. But you really can't rush the process. I mean, I wish I could just tell y'all, get out all your insecurities and it's just like that.
Mhm.
It's like going to the gym. You're not going to have that overnight.
Mhm.
It sucks.
Yes.
Even for me, it sucks. I wish I could just overnight be perfect. Don't work like that. It takes years of being deaf, dumb, and blind, punishing yourself because you don't think you're good. That means you're going to go be with demons and get all types of terrible experiences just to find out you're playing yourself because you don't feel good about yourself. So you play yourself more. And there's no amount of hurting yourself that's going to actually make you better. No, sorry, no about hurting yourself. It's actually going to make you like get out of that. You know what I mean? You actually have to start dealing with the insecurities of why you're doing this. But usually you hurt yourself until you can't hurt yourself anymore. And that's when
I
you're like, you
seen a
know what? I want
quote
to wake
that
up. I'm going to start just figuring out why I'm doing this.
I seen a quote that was like, you have to love yourself into change, and
Mhm.
not hate yourself into it. I feel like people are kind of taught like that, like you hate yourself, so now you want to change.
Yeah, and you have to love yourself into it. It's so interesting because one of my friends has a baby, not a baby, like a 4-year-old, and the child was throwing a crazy temper tantrum. I guess the baby with the kid was tired, and I didn't know what to do, but he just picked up his kid and was just like, I love you so much." And over time, it started calming down. I couldn't believe this was happening because nobody does this. It's like, "I
Yeah,
love you. You're perfect. You're so
so
nice." Like,
cute.
just, like, speaking this positivity into it until I mean, what the kid went from, like, thrashing stuff on the floor and going crazy to,
Mhm.
like, calm and being happy. And then, like, in, like, less than, like, maybe, like, 3 or 4 minutes. And, like, most people, when their kid's acting up and going crazy, they just yell at
Yeah.
the kid. I wanted to strangle the little kid. I'm like, "Let me" let me I'm like, "If I just put the hand over its mouth, it will stop." And I couldn't believe how quickly he was able just to de-escalate it with love.
Great
And it's like we
example.
always think we're gonna hurt ourselves more into evolving, but
Mhm.
we have to love ourselves more into evolving.
Mhm.
It's so simple, yet who wants to do it?
So hard, right?
But we got to start with the small steps. And when dealing with those shadow sides of yourself,
I
or if
think that's where that strong piece. Oh wait,
what you say, what you
keep
say?
going. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I don't say. What are you gonna say?
No, I said that reminded me of the little display, the photo that you used there, where it said the light side was strong, with strength, and that kind of reminds me of that because yeah, strong, because it's a lot to be light. When you say, like, it requires
Yeah,
strength to be positive, to be optimistic, to keep going, to be light, to be like not angering, you know what I mean? To not pretty much bring out
yeah.
those bad traits.
That's
That
that's
requires
what he
great
was
strength.
saying when his kid was
Like
acting
MLK.
crazy. But you're sorry, I'm gonna cut you off, Drake.
Hmm. No,
But
like we
you're
were talking about MLK.
Oh, MLK. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And when the kid was going crazy, I'm like, he's like, he's gotta stay calm. I'm like, that's so hard to do when like because sometimes I'm sensitive to noise.
Hmm.
Sometimes somebody just in my ear, like have you ever drove and somebody honks at you and you immediately get upset and you want to turn
Yes.
around and cuss them out?
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Makes you
trying to
feel
say? Like you
lost.
don't have the control over yourself.
Hmm.
It's so easy to get dark. Like it's so easy, like Drika is
Yeah.
saying. And like the stronghold is to know that that's not who you are. And it's also to know it's not going to do anything. Getting
Mhm.
more mad at the kid's going to make the kid more mad. Getting more mad at yourself is going to make yourself more mad. Hating yourself is going to be worse.
Yeah.
Like Abraham Hicks said, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. But Drika, you're right. It's about that strength and developing and knowing that our strength is love
Yes.
and patience and those good virtues, because there's nothing uglier than not knowing how to control yourself.
Yeah.
It's such an ugly sight when you let yourself you let those darknesses take over. Now you're
You let life
Uriel.
ta-
What you say?
you let life take over you.
Yeah, now you're Uriel. You're Smeagol in Lord of the Rings. You look like you've been totally taken over by you look like you've
I
been
need to rewatch that.
yeah, that's essentially why his look gets so bad, because he totally gets taken over by his desires and his insecurities. And it's like, never want to get taken over. You always want to be like able
Right.
to assess things.
Yeah.
And I feel like this last week I got taken over a bunch. So, now I'm like, didn't know I had that in me anymore. Didn't know I could let demons get me so low. But I hadn't been around demons. Okay, this is interesting too, because I hadn't worked like a job with people for a long time. So working this new job with all these demons was like a big shock to my system. So that's
Mm.
why sometimes you didn't even know you could be so dark, because you're getting back to
Low.
those. But yeah, you guys, it's not about we're not I'm not a angel because I'm perfect. I'm an angel because I'm real and I'm authenticated and my intentions are pure. That's the biggest thing too, you guys, to close it out. Is like angels, we do a lot of fucked up things, but not because we're trying to hurt people. It's because we're trying to hurt ourselves.
As crazy as that sounds, I did it for myself.
Always trying to kill me, not you. Versus demons are doing bad things to hurt others, not themselves.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they're literally trying to go out and kill all those people in Gaza for themselves.
Yeah.
Like when angels do something bad, it was to hurt us, not to hurt you. I think about all those angels that like have OD'd on drugs, and everybody's like mad. This person, like, Anthony Bourdain kills himself. We're all pissed off. It's like he did this to hurt him, not to
Mhm.
hurt y'all.
Yeah.
It's like
Wasn't trying to hurt nobody.
angels were like, I cheated on you to hurt me, not for you.
Mhm.
Right. This was to break me down. I needed to break myself down. So it's like we're hurting people because we're trying to kill ourselves. And they're trying to
Yeah.
kill us to make
Like a
themselves
true
feel good.
Scorpio.
We say
I said like a true Scorpio.
what? Hurting yourself to
Yeah, you know how they say Scorpio is like the phoenix bird? It has to burn itself up to
mhm.
come back.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's true, because like here, because this is Uriel's world, we all have to like do some version of killing ourselves so that we can like become a better version. We got to kill these old parts of ourselves. But
Hmm.
never think that angels played you for you. We did it because we hated ourselves. We did not do it to cause you pain. That's why like a lot of those angelic men too, you notice that will date these like girls, they'll end up like, even though they play them, they'll like be comfortable giving the girl money and all those types of things. You notice what I'm saying? Like I notice when angels go through divorces, they're more comfortable giving their ex-wife money and stuff because it's not from like this evil place.
Mm.
I've noticed that like a lot of the angelic men, like they seem like they're more comfortable giving like their ex-wife money and stuff because they know they put this person through a lot of things that they really wasn't trying to do. It
Do
just
happen.
happened. Yeah, it just happened that way. Like we feel guilty for doing all these things to hurt people because it's like I'm not trying to hurt you, but I am hurting you because I hate myself. So sorry.
My bad.
Right. I just wanted to hurt myself so bad and you end up getting caught up in the crossfire.
Caught up in the rapture.
Yeah, you guys, I was trying to kill myself, and now you making this about you. I just wanted to feel abused. So I had to go to demons to get it done. And
Yeah,
that's
that
how it
is crazy.
is. Yeah, like I needed to abuse myself because I hated myself. So
To evolve a little.
we say,
To evolve a little.
you just to evolve a little. I had to abuse myself really bad. And now I'm realizing that that has abused others. Wasn't my intention, but now I have to make up for it by loving myself. Even though now I feel like I'm in a bad standing with all of y'all and society. So
I hope that people will understand what I was trying to achieve.
yeah, you guys don't get it. It reminds me of like when Richard Pryor tried to kill himself, and like you think that everybody hates you. I think what's nice about Richard Pryor is that like everybody still loved him because they kind of knew it was a personal thing.
Oh wow.
But you know, like at his little like they did like a show for him, and he had tried to kill himself. He had done a lot of self abuse, right? Drugs. A lot of angels deal with drugs. It's like we deal with self abuse
Mm-hmm.
that ends up hurting other people,
Right.
and people don't understand why we hate ourselves so much. And it's like that's a whole nother video. Why do angels hate ourselves?
Yeah, that's so funny, actually.
When we're like the things that never fell from heaven, we never hated ourselves, but when we get here, we end up hating ourselves on earth.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we get to earth, I'm like, damn it, fuck,
So
hate
true.
this. Let me go find somebody to abuse me. See if that works. Didn't work. That's not gonna work.
Not gonna work, guys. I guess I'll have to go back to doing it myself.
Right. Right, go in that mirror. You don't look that good, but it's all good.
Right, that's so funny. Literally.
Yeah, all these things is self-abuse. So we gotta get out of this self-abuse. You gotta get out of it today. And then demons make us feel worse about it. Like killing yourself was selfish. Talking about those angels that killed themselves. That was the most selfish thing you could have fucking done. Just kill yourself. It's like, bro, I had to kill myself.
Right, like, come on.
Yeah. So yeah. And I think that's probably why people do. I think angels come in a little bit lighter is because it's not coming to like tear you down. We're trying to
Mm-hmm.
tear ourselves down. And somehow in the mix of that, it ends up tearing everybody else down around us.
Just trying to get better.
Yeah, I'm trying to be better. So I had to like really hurt myself badly, miserably. I had to depress myself. It's always when you get to that point of being suicidal that you know you're about to have a good day. You know, once you get suicidal, once you get to the suicidal aspect of being an angel, you can only go up from there. For
You
real.
need to go up.
That's
Like,
literally when every angel, when you're at the suicidal point, you when you literally abuse yourself to the point of either you're allowing people to literally physically abuse you to where you're suicidal, or you're physically abusing yourself, or you're to the brink of suicide, that is when things inevitably can go up.
you're at the pinnacle of your breakthrough.
It doesn't get any further than that. And it might happen before, like you might be successful, never have experienced that, and it might happen down the line, or it could happen. You never know when you're going to go through that. But once you go through that, I'm telling you, you're getting so close. And that is the crazy part about not committing suicide, because right when you want to commit suicide is when you're about to have your breakthrough. That means you're killing your old self.
I was supposed to have my breakthrough in years ago.
Yeah, exactly. You did have your breakthrough, Dreek.
Years
The
ago.
world just doesn't hasn't seen it yet. You already had your breakthrough. You had your
No, I
breakthrough.
haven't seen my breakthrough.
Right.
Therefore, making me want to kill
Right.
myself again.
No, it's like we have to, when you're going through that emotion, it's because you're going through you need to kill yourself, this fake version of yourself.
You're right about that.
And angels struggle with guilt a lot. I know as demons don't really struggle with guilt. We'll be guilty about something for eons. Like, damn, why I do
Yeah,
that?
too.
Demons be like, we're putting America first.
Yeah, we're
Like,
moving
if
on.
everybody has to
That's
die,
the past.
right? Everybody has to die. What about my kids? My taxpayer dollar. The damn.
Like, what? Could you be more selfish?
Like, yeah, we definitely take on the guilty conscious bad. We have
Mm-hmm.
to release that to heaven, you guys. We'll have a kumbaya for angels. Don't worry. But if you're an angel and you feel like, how can I be a
That's a
my
good one.
we say?
Yeah, that's a good one. We have like a big old meetup and like hold hands. Just let it come out,
Right.
guys.
Wha-
Release it into this and never, after this, never talk about it
About it
again.
again.
It's done.
It's done. Yeah, we gotta literally have one of those sessions where we just burn out all the things that we've done that were terrible because we hated ourselves. And we didn't even know we hated ourselves. We came to this world and found out we didn't like ourselves. For real. And we'll talk about why that is.
Strong
But
conclusion.
what do you say?
Strong conclusion to come to.
Yeah, it's a strong conclusion. And so the channel really gets more about how to forgive yourself and love yourself. And forgiveness isn't really what we need to focus on. Love and becoming new is what you got to focus on. Forgiveness is important, but that can lead you into the guilt era. And then you got to go to church every day because you're so guilty about everything you've done. And now you got to be a church girl because you've done so much that you're ashamed of.
I'm not laughing because, but yeah, that is kind of funny because I think we've all met that person before.
Right, exactly. Like you just had to preach all day because all the shit you've done, now you're guilty as hell. Number one thing is, you guys, everything you did bad, you was gonna do anyways. That's number one. Everything
Mm,
that you did. Number two, you didn't know. And lastly, you needed to do things that were bad so that you could know who you are. Now you know yourself,
mm,
and you would never, and you wouldn't do it again.
mm,
Now demons, they're gonna do it again. Demons are gonna do it until we literally have to stop them.
mm.
That's the kind of the big have the guilty conscious. They know how to strategize and conclude why they're doing things. They only deal with it when they get cut off. It's like
Right.
you got to literally put jinns in jail. Like you can't just think they're going to just get better. They're not. If that was the case, Uriel would have already figured out how to be a better person. He's only going to become better because I'm calling him out. He's not
Mhm.
getting better because he's been down here. He's only getting worse. He's gotten a little bit better, but he's still out for himself in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's not like he's able to, we can't fully heal ourselves. We can't fully evolve ourselves. And that's the whole point of this video. We can't fully evolve ourselves. We can only evolve ourselves through demons. And demons only evolve themselves through angels. And we get to talk about, oh, we hate them, they hate us, but it's really a deep love because we love to become better versions of ourselves. Because it feels good to be a better person.
Yeah.
And you was gonna mess up anyways, but you had to mess up so that you could have an insight on it.
Mm.
Now we know what it's like to feel like demons,
Yeah.
and now they know what it's like to feel like angels in a sense. Again,
Mhm.
we were gonna mess up. Now we can do good, you guys. Don't get trapped up in being good versus bad. Get caught up in evolving. Get caught up in making fun of yourself. Get caught up in the fact that you was deaf, dumb, and blind your whole life. Then sprayed a whole bottle of white diamonds.
How did I know that was coming?
I know. Like so much stupid stuff. We'll have to do a video on the stupid stuff we've done throughout the years. But yeah, essentially, in closing, when I tell people they're angels, most people do not believe me in this dimension because number one, you don't have any of your memory. But number two, because people think angels are perfect, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Angels are just angles, like Uriel says, of light here to evolve people by coming from a higher place, being messengers, being truthful. The whole point of an angel is to go, you know what? I'm not shit. And now that I haven't been good, I'm becoming good. And let me show you guys how I did it so you guys can become good too. I became good because I wasn't good. You don't become good because you don't become pure and real because you was always pure, real, and authentic. Started off bad. Now we became better. An angel is somebody that's constantly evolving for their betterment. And demons are too. Like a demon that's a powerful demon is going to be a being that's always attempting to be the most authentic version of that form that they are. We love the demons that are the most themselves, the most demonic, the most strong forms of that. We don't like lukewarm demons. We want the full enchilada. People love Kevin Samuels. You know what I mean? People like when people are just a full version of that demon. So let's show up. Let's evolve. Let's get out of good versus bad versus real versus, and let's get into real versus fake. It's Angels in the Library. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. The next video will be the good side of demons. We're going to sing demons' praises. Beelzebub.
Not too much.
Asmodeus. Lucifer. What do you say, Drake?
I said not too much reptiles.
Not too much on the reptiles?
No, I said not too much reptiles, as in we won't speak too highly of y'all.
Yeah. It's actually a challenge for me because I want to do this video on the good side of demons because it's so easy for me to pick them apart. Like, I don't want to give them a backhanded compliment like, oh, they did this, but they did, I'm trying to actually say things about demons that I just like, and I don't have to say anything else. Yeah. Like, I loved this. Let me not go any further because once I start going too far, I'm going to break y'all down. But yeah, stay tuned, you guys. We appreciate you. And thank you guys for rocking with us. Shout out to the angelic community. Of course, we're in a treacherous time and a lot of changes are happening in the world, but we're going to make it through this. And this is just for our evolution. A new way to evolve. We're going to understand the archonic mind after this. We're going to figure out why they want Christian nationalism so bad. What it's all about. They want it bad.
Yeah, definitely know what that's about.
Yeah, we got to put America first. That's all I know. Good night.
Good night.